So, how's it going? More grace, less growling. That is the title of this podcast. Everybody we know and people we don't know, everybody is going through something right now. Whether it's being mandated to do something because we as a people do not like being told what to do. Then there's these arguments about masks. Is it effective? Is it not? You're not going to tell me what to do. The government can't mandate whether I wear a mask or not. Our state was just notified yesterday that all masks are mandatory now if you're out in public. Of course, I've been wearing the mask when I go to the grocery store in different situations that I can't social distance. And I hope it protects me and I hope it protects others. And I figure all the things I've read, which is too much, I'm trying to back off from reading so much about what's happening these days, is that, if we're in a close space and I have on a mask and you have on a mask, then nothing's going to get transmitted to either of us. So we're going to go with it and take the high road, which is the important thing to do. I had a situation come up a couple weeks ago. I was out walking my little white dog, Johnny Bandit. A house up from where I live, backing out of the driveway and screeching very loudly, slamming on brakes, and this little dog running out from under the car. Well, the young girl got out, she grabbed the dog, she put it inside, was just slamming doors like crazy, very mad. I could tell she was very angry. I've never met this person before. I'd never seen her before. I thought a single woman lived there. Anyway, next thing I know, the dog bounds out of the house again, and a young guy comes out and is chasing it, and she's yelling at the guy, slamming doors, gets the dog back in, and I happened to be up there at the same time, and I just looked over there and I went, whoo, calm down, like that. Well, I never should have said that, as non-provocative as that might sound. If you've ever told anybody who's upset to calm down, I can guarantee you that don't work. They do not calm down. I don't even like it when anybody tells me to calm down. Matter of fact, there's a little private joke within my family from, I think it's the movie where, I can't think of his name now. Ben is on the plane and everybody's all worked up and they're trying to delay it, of course. And it's, everybody needs to just calm down. When we all get worked up in my family, just to diffuse the situation, bring a little humor in and get everything back on a nice even keel, I will say, or my children will say, all right, everybody needs to just calm down. In that respect, it's funny. Well, did not have any type of positive effect on this girl. And I was actually just standing there watching this thinking, are y'all going to just kill each other right here and the dog? And in addition, she backed out in front of a car and I was like, whoa. Again, I should not have stuck my nose in it at all, but I said those things, calm down and whoa. And then she starts saying, if you got a problem with me, go on and take your walk. Go on and take your walk. Pointing her arm, go on, take your walk. She said that about 20 times. I'm thinking, okay, something's odd about this. She's probably, I don't know what. Obviously, it's a bad situation because most of her belongings were in the front yard. So I'm thinking she probably got kicked out by her, who I now know is now her mother. Anyway, I'm just continuing to stand there. And then she starts with, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? And I just said, no, I don't have any kind of problem. I said, I'm sure you don't want a problem. Again, shouldn't have said that either. But she gets out of her car and I'm standing there with my dog and comes like loping over to me. And she's carrying her phone. She's got it in front of her like it's some weapon or something, facing me. And I'm thinking, please record this because obviously I'm not the one that's freaking out here. I will tell you there was zero fear in me. And that's a good thing. And that's something I'll address in a minute because I've been really praying hard about that. Anyway, she comes up and she is bounding toward me. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to push me over? Are you going to hit me? You're going to just get right in my face? Well, she got about 5 feet from me and she was still coming. You got a problem with me? And again, I'm just looking at her. I'm like, I just don't believe this is happening. And I held my hand up in front of me like one of the traffic guards, school guards, where they hold their hand up and say stop in their sign. And I held my hand up and I said, stop, back up. And honey, she did. Let me tell you what now. And she went on, but she threatened me. She said she was going to let her black dog out to eat my dog up. And then the boy said something and she said, I'm going to bring pit bulls over here and sick them on your dog and they're going to tear that little dog to shreds. Well, I was kind of floored by this. I'm thinking, wow, just out of the blue, there's all this hatred and threats toward me and my dog, who's never hurt anybody. Well, I can't say that. He did bite me a few times, but he doesn't do that anymore. Anyway, so I went on my walk. So it was a good 35, 40 minutes later. Oh, they left. I did say, well, now you've threatened me and I'm going to call the cops. If your dog attacks me, I'm going to call animal control. So then I felt like a Karen, that kind of meme that's going around, somebody who complains about everything, because I really do not. Every time I ever have, not only do I feel terrible, but it's never had the desired result. So, I just don't do it. But anyway, I thought, well, that's the best thing I can say right now. And, what's happening? Well, when I said I was going to call the cops, which I did not do, and I did not call animal control, didn't do any of those things, did not speak to her mother, nothing. And I'll get to that in a moment. They start going out to the outbuilding and taking out these backpacks of things and loading them up in her car, and they take off. And I'm thinking, you're moving something. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is, but I'm sure it's not good. So I go on my walk all the time, just trying to figure it out, talking to the Lord. Lord, what's happening? I need to figure this out. What should I do? Should I call the cops? I mean, she's absolutely threatened me. Well, I get right up by her house. I had to pass it to go to my house. And I'm walking Johnny. I want you to know she let that dog out and sicked it on us. And that dog came up trying to attack Johnny, got within an inch of him. And I'm swinging him around on his leash, trying to keep him away from the dog, yelling at the dog, yelling for the girl to come out and get her dog, which of course, nothing, no response. So I continued on. I told that dog to go on. I kept holding my hand up saying, stop, get back, stay. And it finally left us. But we had to really do some maneuvering for it to go on and us to get enough away that we could move. Again, I had no fear. I'm thinking, dog, if you really do bite my dog, I just don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be good. So I go inside, and I'm just hot, and I'm upset, and I'm thinking, wow, what do I do? What do I do? This is a total affront to me. It's actually an attack on me and my dog with threats. So I called a good friend of mine. They were like, well, maybe you should call the cops, or just don't do anything. Obviously, if all her stuff's out in the front yard and on the porch, you came upon a situation that was already bad. And I'm thinking that's true. Absolutely. So I think more and more, and I pray, Lord, give me the right perspective here. Guide me to know what to do. What's the right response? What do I do? And faithful is what he is. Eventually, it started coming around. I thought, I need to diffuse this situation. I don't want to get her in any more trouble. She's clearly got things going on that are not very cool right now. I don't want to make that worse. I don't want to be the person that, calls the cops on somebody. Unless it ever happens again. Or if she threatens me ever again, then I will say something. And then I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? I thought, well, I'll just ride my bike up there, and hopefully they'll be outside, and I'll just ask them if they're okay. That will diffuse the situation, and it will show that I am coming from a caring place, not a place of anger. It's grace. And I didn't think about it at the time, not until I started to research and do this podcast. That's exactly what I extended. And I'm so happy that turned out that way. And I got to tell you, it wasn't me. It was the Lord working through me, because I was upset. Oh, my lands, was I upset. Here's something else that's really interesting. Just as I ride my bike up there, she and the boy walk out of the house at the exact same time that I pull up. She's involved in her iPad, looking at it, talking to him, making arrangements for things. And I just stopped my bike and I said, hey, are y'all okay? And she said, yeah, we're fine. Go on. Thanks. And I was like, okay. I said, just trying to be a good neighbor. Don't want any trouble with my neighbors. And I'm sure you don't want any trouble with your neighbors either. Have a good day. Which I probably shouldn't have added the last part, but I did. I felt like there should be some accountability there. Good lands. So then I ride on up the road a bit and I see a neighbor out that lives across the street from this house. And I stopped and I talked to him, and I was still upset and told him what had happened. I said, who is that? Well, it's the daughter of the woman that lives there. How old is she? He says, 18, old enough to go to jail. You should call the sheriff right now. That is unacceptable. People can't act like that, and you should just go ahead and call. I said, well, it looks like she's already got a lot going on, a lot of trouble. And he said, well, they're moving the first of the month. I thought, well, that's good. I'm glad they're getting out of the neighborhood. Whoo! So days go by. Every time I see movement up there, or I ride by, or I walk by, which is every day, sometimes twice a day, I have all these thoughts, all the things I could do, all the things I want to do, all the things I want to say. And for one thing, I thought, okay, what is a mother going to do with an 18-year-old wild child who obviously has no respect for anybody. I mean, I'm older than her. For one thing, she could have respected me because I was older. And then I thought, hey, that makes me feel kind of good. She came over to me like she was going to kick my butt. At least she didn't consider me somebody really old. She thought I could, at least engage. And I was telling another friend of mine about it, my girlfriend, my best friend I've had forever. And I said, what do you even do in a situation like that? I mean, you got somebody coming at you. What are they going to do? They're going to come over here and start slapping you around? She said, you run. You run as fast as you can. And I said, I'm not running. Good lands. I've been on a diet. I'm not eating very much. I'm hot. I'm hormonal sometimes. I ain't running from anybody. Now, that's not exactly true. That sounded real big, and I was still pumped up on days worth of adrenaline from the event, but I would run from somebody if I was in danger. As we are told in the Bible, we're not given a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power and love